Gaea was born from chaos after her siblings Tartaros, the darkness, and Eros, the love. Gaea, a goddess and the personification of earth, wanted to cover the whole land, so she gave birth to another god who stands on equal with her, and he was named Uranus, or Uranos, the personification of sky. He covers the whole earth and often showered it with pleasure every morning on all its corner. These union between the sky and earth gave birth to 12 titans, 3 cyclopes and 3 hecatoncheires, a monstrous being with 50 heads and 100 arms. While the titans were considered beautiful being, in comparison to the later Olympian gods, the cyclopes and hecatoncheires were considered horrendous in appearance and has overwhelming strength that made Uranus conscious of their existence. He decided to vanish them. The cyclopes and hecatoncheires was thrown in the depths of Tartaros, while the titans was hidden on the depth of earth, hidden from his sight. Gaea was already tired of Uranus' lustful desires and eventually got fed up on his tyrannic paranoia towards his own children, so she plotted to overthrow him. She then talked to the titans about her plan, but they all refused out of fear from Uranus except for one, the youngest titan, Cronus. She prepared a sickle crafted from the earth's elements and gave it to Cronus. When Uranus descended to earth to lay down on Gaea's bed, Cronus, alone with his sickle, hid away from Uranus' eyes. Gaea kept silence. As Cronus continues with his lustful desires, Cronus walked towards his father and held him at his back and wrestled him away from Gaea. As Uranus fell out from Gaea's bosom, confused and irritated, he just felt a hand grasp his testicles, and in a single wink, a sharp object sliced through the flesh of his gonads. Blood splattered on the floor in bed, and wild shriek can be heard throughout the ends of the Middle Earth. There stood in front of him his youngest titan, Cronus, holding his bleeding testicles, and in his other hand is a sickle covered with blood. He cried out from anger, cursing Gaea and Cronus's betrayal. He then shouted a prophecy that one day one of his own child shall overthrow him the same way as he had betrayed his own father. Cronus didn't pay heed on his father's warning, instead walks out of Gaea's bedroom and traversed his way to the sea. As he walked holding on his father's bleeding gonads, it continuously stained the dirt and spawned beings with monstrous forms and strength, which will later be called gigantes, or races of giants. Aside from these beings, spawns spirit who dwells underneath the dirt called Erinyes, beings who exist to take vengeance against men. The last being spawned from the union was the Melii, a being of a lesser form of a god which took form from an ash tree, a tree that is known for its healing properties. As Cronus approached the sea, he took a deep breath and threw his father's gonads in the air. As it dropped and touched the surface of the sea, water started bubbling up, forming a sea of foam. On the middle of it, the goddess of beauty and lustful love was born, named Aphrodite. After these major events, Cronus stood as the king of the Titan and the new ruler of the cosmos, which was later be called the Golden Age. These continued until Cronus approached one of his sister Rhea for marriage. These union gave birth to children, which will later rule over the Olympus, giving life to Uranus' prophecy.